In the vast library of Scripture there is a small book. It is easy to miss. It is tucked neatly between the larger books of Amos and Jonah. This book is Obadiah. It has only one chapter. It has just 21 verses. You can read it in about 10 minutes. The story is set against a dark backdrop. Jerusalem, the city of God, has fallen. Its walls are broken. Its people are scattered. In this moment of deep pain, their neighbors, the Edomites, did not help. They did something much worse. The people of Edom were not strangers to Israel. They were family. They descended from Esau, the twin brother of Jacob. Jacob was later named Israel. So, when Israel suffered, their brothers in Edom should have shown compassion. They should have offered a helping hand. They should have provided a safe place for the refugees. Instead, they stood on the sidelines and cheered for Israel's enemies. They gloated over the destruction. They even helped capture those who were trying to escape. This act of betrayal is the heart of Obadiah's message. God sent this prophet to deliver a firm word. A word of judgment for Edom, a word of hope for his own people. The central theme of this tiny book is a timeless truth. It is a principle as old as the mountains themselves. Pride leads to a downfall. What you do to others will eventually come back to you. God saw the arrogance of Edom. He saw their cruel celebration, and he declared that their actions would have consequences. This is not just a story about two ancient nations. It is a story for every person. It is a story for every generation. It reminds us that God is a God of justice. He defends the brokenhearted. He holds the proud accountable. Obadiah's prophecy is a solemn promise that no act of cruelty goes unnoticed, and no cry for help goes unheard. As we walk through this short but profound book, we will see this truth unfold. We will see how Edom's pride blinded them. We will see how their violence against their brother sealed their fate. We will learn what it means to stand on the right side of justice, and we will find comfort in the promise that, in the end, God's kingdom will prevail. The story of Obadiah, written so long ago, still speaks today. It speaks to our hearts. It speaks to our world. It calls us to examine our own lives. It invites us to choose compassion over cruelty, humility over pride, hope over despair. Let us listen closely to its message. Yes, let us listen closely. The book of Obadiah opens with a direct message from God to Edom. It is a stark, startling warning. God points to their root problem: pride. The pride of your heart has deceived you. Pride is a master of deception. It whispers lies to our hearts. We are better than others. We are stronger. We are untouchable. For Edom, pride grew from their place, a fortress of rock, cities carved into high cliffs. From those lofty homes they looked down on the world. They felt secure. They felt invincible. The prophet quotes their boast, "Who can bring me down to the ground?" This is arrogance, self-reliance to the extreme. They trusted stone walls. They trusted high perches. They trusted their geographic advantage. They were like an eagle nesting on an inaccessible peak. Though you soar like the eagle, from there I will bring you down. It doesn't matter how high we climb. If our security is built on pride, it is built on sand. God reminds us He is the ultimate authority. No one is beyond His reach. The things we trust can become our downfall if not grounded in humility. Wealth, intelligence, titles, accomplishments. This message is for us today. We build modern fortresses of pride. We may trust wealth. We may trust intelligence. We may trust titles. Obadiah's words, a gentle, firm reminder. Pride deceives. It creates a false security. It blinds us to vulnerability. True security isn't how high we climb. It's how low we're willing to bow to a loving, sovereign God. He alone is our true rock and fortress. So remember that. After addressing Edom's pride, God points to the specific sin that brought judgment. The reason is laid bare in verse 10. Because of the violence against your brother Jacob, you will be covered with shame. You will be destroyed forever. Violence is a strong word. It does not only mean a physical attack. It covers a range of hostile actions, including the sin of doing nothing. They were guilty of what they did and of what they did not do. When Jacob was in desperate need, Edom turned its back and joined the chorus of the enemy. Imagine this: a neighbor's house is being robbed. The family inside cries for help. The right thing to do? You call the police. You offer shelter. You act. Not pull up a lawn chair and watch. Not help robbers carry out the loot. Yet that is exactly what Edom did. The prophet says, strangers carried off his wealth, foreigners entered his gates, they cast lots for Jerusalem. You were like one of them, standing aloof, doing nothing. In God's eyes, that inaction equals guilt. No neutral ground in injustice. Silence can be violence. Indifference, a weapon. Edom's sin, failure of love. They forgot the family bond with Israel. The prophet Obadiah continues to detail Edom's crimes, and the focus becomes even more personal and painful. He moves from the sin of inaction to the sin of attitude. God says through the prophet, in a series of sharp repeated commands, "You should not gloat over your brother in the day of his misfortune, nor rejoice over the people of Judah in the day of their destruction." The word gloat is a deeply ugly one. It means to take malicious pleasure in someone else's suffering. It is a poison of the heart. A healthy heart grieves when others grieve. It feels compassion. It desires to help and to heal. Edom saw the fall of Jerusalem as a win for themselves. Perhaps jealousy of the temple, or resentment of Israel's covenant, whatever the reason. When Jerusalem fell, Edom celebrated. They looked at their brother's brokenness, and instead of weeping, they cheered. This celebration of suffering is a deep offense to the God who created us to love and care for one another. You should not boast in the day of their trouble. You should not enter the gate of my people in the day of their disaster, nor look on their suffering in the day of their disaster, nor seize their wealth in the day of their disaster. A total violation of brotherly love. Think modern terms, posting mockery instead of helping, looting after storms, profiting from pain. But Obadiah's message is a clear and firm stop sign. Do not go there. Do not let your heart celebrate another's pain. It is a dangerous and destructive path. God calls us to a higher way, empathy, to weep with those who weep, to feel their pain as our own. After spelling out Edom's list of sins, the prophecy pivots. It moves from describing the problem to declaring the consequence. The tone shifts to one of divine certainty. He declares in verse 15, "The day of the Lord is near for all nations. As you have done, it will be done to you. Your deeds will return upon your own head." This is the heart of the book's message on justice. It is simple, it is direct, it is inescapable. What you sow, you will also reap. Your actions are like seeds. They will produce a harvest of their own kind. Law of reciprocity. The mirror of justice. It means the way you treat others is the way you will be treated. Edom stood by and watched Israel's destruction. Other nations would one day stand by and watch Edom's destruction. Edom looted their brother's home. Their own home would be looted. They rejoiced at Israel's pain. Others would rejoice at their pain. This is not simple revenge. It is a fundamental principle of God's ordered world. Actions have consequences. Choices have results. The boomerang you throw will eventually come back. This verse introduces the phrase, "the day of the Lord." A time of divine intervention, when God settles accounts. For the proud, terror. For the humble, hope. God will have the final word. This principle is a guide for our lives, a warning and an invitation. Warning, be careful how you treat people. The harsh word, the act of selfishness, the moment of indifference, these things have a way of returning to us. Invitation, if we sow seeds of kindness, we will reap kindness. If we show mercy, we will be shown mercy. If we help the hurting, we will find help when we are in need. Not a magic formula, but a principle of the world God wants and the character he builds in us. The balance is, well, quite clear. Just when the book seems darkest, filled with warnings, a ray of light breaks through. The final verses pivot from the downfall of Edom to the restoration of Israel, from the mountains of Esau to Mount Zion. Verse 21 gives a beautiful summary. Deliverers will go up on Mount Zion to govern the mountains of Esau, and the kingdom will be the Lord's. Deliverers echoes the judges, Gideon, Deborah, raised by God to save his people. Those who were scattered will be gathered. Those who were defeated will be victorious. They will ascend Mount Zion, the symbol of God's presence and rule. From there, they bring righteous governance to the very region that oppressed them. Not revenge, but restoration. Peace and order replace chaos. Mount Zion, God's dwelling, the spiritual center. Mountains of Esau, human pride and earthly power. God's way, rooted in humility and justice, will triumph over arrogance and violence. The oppressed are lifted to authority, not for their own glory, but to extend the rule of God. God turns power structures upside down. The last will be first, and the humble will be exalted, and the kingdom will be the Lord's. The story of Obadiah may seem distant, but its lessons are as close as our neighborhoods, schools and workplaces. One group points and laughs, gloating like Edom. Another seeks help or offers a hand, the path of compassion. God is grieved by the mockers and blesses the helping hand. Gossip yields isolation. Gloating yields no allies when you stumble. Encouragement builds a community that supports you in return. Ruthless tactics win short-term, but earn lasting distrust. Integrity earns trust. When we hear misfortune, is it secret satisfaction or a pang of empathy? God cares about our heart's posture. See a fall not as a chance to get ahead, but a chance to show grace. While Obadiah speaks to all, it warns leaders sharply. Edom was a nation. It had kings, generals, elders. National pride and cruelty reflect leaders' choices. When leaders grow arrogant, trusting their own power and wisdom, they lead people down a dangerous path. Who can bring me down? Likely echoed in Edom's courts. Leaders set the tone, their character shapes culture. Humble leadership is stewardship, for the good of those they serve. Aware of limits, seeking higher wisdom, listening, admitting wrong, prioritizing the vulnerable. Proud leaders feel entitled, exploit the weak. Obadiah reminds, all leaders answer to a higher authority. No king, no CEO, no president, no pastor is too high to be brought low. God sets up and takes down rulers. The day of the Lord reckons with abused power. History's proud invincibles crumble to dust. Pride builds on sand. We need humble, compassionate, just leadership. Do not gloat. Seek the common good. Power is a tool for healing and building. Reject pride's whisper. Choose humility, for it is the humble leader who will endure. In the end, the small book of Obadiah leaves us with a large and unshakable hope. After the warnings and the judgments, after lessons on pride and humility, the final word is not Edom's fall, or even Israel's restoration. The final word is about God, and the kingdom will be the Lord's. This is the grand finale, the destination of history. It gives meaning to our struggles, our sorrows, and our hopes for justice. The chaos and cruelty we see are not final. A better kingdom is coming. God defends the mocked, heals the broken, and makes all things right. Anchor to this, the kingdom belongs to the Lord. He is in control. Justice will not be delayed forever. The promise of deliverers on Mount Zion calls God's people in every generation. We are invited into God's restorative work. Bring light into darkness, work for peace, defend the oppressed, live humble service, not in desperation, but with confident hope in a victory already secured. Live now the values of the kingdom on its way. This tiny book begins with pride and cruelty, and ends in the light of God's sovereign love. Pride is a dead end. How we treat others matters eternally. Above all, it points to our ultimate hope, a king perfectly just and eternally good, and a kingdom without end. May we live our lives as faithful citizens of that coming kingdom, trusting in the promise that one day, every wrong will be made right, every tear will be wiped away, and the whole world will know that the kingdom is the Lord's. Low, slow melody fades. As we remember, as you have done, it will be done to you.